Why is this happening to me? It's a question that echoes in the quiet corners of our minds, often when we least expect it. Maybe you're sitting alone, staring at the ceiling in the middle of the night, or watching the world go by through a rain-streaked window, feeling like everyone else has answers you don't. In those moments, the world can feel impossibly heavy, and the silence can be deafening. You might wonder if anyone else has ever felt this lost, this confused, or this overwhelmed by the weight of circumstances that seem out of your control. We've all whispered it, cried it, maybe even shouted it into the void. When life falls apart, when the plans you made unravel, when the people you counted on walk away, when the job you loved slips through your fingers, or when the dreams you cherished seem to fade into the background, it's natural to ask, why me? Maybe you found yourself sitting on the floor behind a closed door, head in your hands, feeling like the world is moving on without you. Maybe you felt the sting of tears you can't explain, or the ache of a heart that's been broken by disappointment, loss, or betrayal. These moments of pain are universal, and yet, when we're in them, they feel so isolating, as if no one else could possibly understand the depth of what we're experiencing. When your heart breaks, when the pain is so real it feels physical, it's only human to question everything. You might find yourself replaying conversations, wondering what you could have done differently, or searching for meaning in the chaos. The questions swirl. Did I make a mistake? Is this my fault? Is there a reason for all this suffering? Sometimes the answers don't come, and the silence can feel like another wound. But in these moments, you are not alone. Every person at some point faces a season of heartbreak, a time when the world seems to stop making sense. It's in these seasons that our faith, our hope, and our resilience are tested. But what if I told you, even in your pain, God is working. Even when you can't see it, even when you can't feel it, there is a purpose unfolding behind the scenes. Sometimes, it's in the quiet moments of prayer, or in the desperate reaching for hope, that we begin to sense a presence greater than ourselves. Maybe you've whispered a prayer in the darkness, or reached out for a sliver of light through the cracks in your circumstances. In those moments you might not get the answers you want, but you are never abandoned. God is closer than you think, working in ways you can't yet see, weaving together the threads of your story into something beautiful, even if it doesn't feel that way right now. Even when you can't see the good, it's still coming. Just as the sun rises after the longest night, hope has a way of breaking through, even in the darkest seasons. Maybe you're standing at the edge of a new day, unsure of what's ahead, but there's a quiet promise that things can change. The pain you feel now is not the end of your story. There is a dawn waiting for you, a new beginning that you might not be able to imagine yet. Sometimes, hope arrives in small, unexpected ways. A kind word from a friend, a moment of laughter, or the simple beauty of a sunrise. These are reminders that goodness is still possible, that healing is still within reach, and that your story is not over. Because the promise in Romans chapter 8 verse 28 says, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to His purpose." This isn't just a comforting phrase to recite when things are hard, it's a powerful truth that has carried countless people through their darkest hours. It means that even the broken pieces of your life, the moments you wish you could erase, the pain you never wanted to feel, none of it is wasted. God is able to take every part of your story, the good and the bad, and weave it together for a greater purpose. This promise doesn't mean that everything will be easy or that you won't face hardship, but it does mean that nothing is beyond redemption. Every tear, every struggle, every unanswered question can become part of a bigger picture, one that is filled with hope, healing, and meaning. Today we're going to unwrap the power of this promise and why it still holds true for you right now. We'll explore what it means to trust when you can't see the way forward, to find hope when your heart is heavy, and to believe that your pain has a purpose. You are not alone in your questions, your doubts, or your struggles. There is a community of people who have walked this road before you, who have found light in the darkness and hope in the midst of despair. Together, we'll discover how faith can transform even the hardest moments into opportunities for growth, connection, and renewal. So, if you're wondering why this is happening, if you're searching for meaning in the midst of your pain, take heart. There is a promise waiting for you, a promise that all things, even this, can work together for good. Let's begin this journey together and see how your story can be rewritten with hope, purpose, and the assurance that you are never alone. Let's begin with two simple words, all things. It doesn't say some things, it doesn't say only the good things, it says all things. That includes the heartbreak that nearly destroyed you, the door that slammed shut just when you thought you were getting ahead, the waiting seasons, the painful goodbyes, the quiet tears. God doesn't waste a single thread of your story, even the things that felt like setbacks, even the moments that made no sense. He's weaving them into something far greater than you could imagine, because your life is not random, it's divinely authored. Now listen closely to this part, because what we're about to talk about is something that touches every single one of us, no matter who we are, where we come from, or what we believe. Life is full of moments that test us, that stretch us, that sometimes even break us. We all face seasons when the weight of the world feels too heavy to carry, when the path ahead is shrouded in uncertainty, and when the pain of our circumstances seems almost unbearable. Maybe you're in one of those seasons right now, or maybe you remember a time when you were. Either way, this message is for you. It's for anyone who's ever wondered if anything good could possibly come from the hard things we go through. There's a promise that echoes through the ages, a truth that has comforted countless hearts and given hope to those in the darkest valleys. All things work together for good. It's a phrase you might have heard before, maybe even quoted to someone else in their time of need. But what does it really mean? Does it mean that everything that happens to us is good? That every heartbreak, every disappointment, every loss is somehow a blessing in disguise? Not exactly. The promise isn't that all things are good, but that all things, yes, even the hard, painful, confusing things, can be woven together by God into something good. Notice it doesn't say all things are good. That's an important distinction. There are things in this world that are undeniably hard, undeniably painful, and undeniably not good. Illness, loss, betrayal, injustice, these are not good things. They are not things we would ever wish for ourselves or for anyone else. And yet the promise remains somehow, in ways we may not always understand, God can take even these things and use them for a greater purpose. Some things are just hard. There's no sugarcoating it. There are days when the pain feels raw and relentless, when the questions outnumber the answers, and when hope seems like a distant memory. Maybe you've lost someone you love, and the ache of their absence lingers in every quiet moment. Maybe you've faced rejection or failure or the sting of words that can't be taken back. Maybe you're carrying a burden that no one else can see, but that weighs on you every single day. These are the hard things, and it's okay to acknowledge them for what they are. There's nothing good about betrayal. When someone you trust turns their back on you, when a friend becomes a stranger, or when the people you counted on let you down, it hurts in a way that words can hardly describe. The pain of betrayal can leave scars that last a lifetime. It can shake your confidence, your sense of security, and even your faith in others. And yet, even in the midst of that pain, there is a promise that God can redeem what was lost, that He can bring healing where there was hurt, and that He can write a new story from the ashes of broken trust. There's nothing easy about grief. When we lose someone we love, the world can feel like it stopped spinning. The days blur together, and the nights stretch on endlessly. Grief is a journey with no map, no timetable, and no shortcuts. It's a process that looks different for everyone, and it's filled with moments of both sorrow and unexpected grace. In those moments it can be hard to see how anything good could ever come from such deep pain. But even in the valley of grief, God is present. He weeps with us, He comforts us, and He promises that our tears are not wasted. But here's the miracle. God doesn't call it good. He doesn't ask us to pretend that our pain isn't real or that our struggles don't matter. Instead, He meets us right where we are, in the middle of our mess, and He begins the work of transformation. He takes the broken pieces of our lives and with gentle hands, He starts to weave them into something new. He brings hope to the hopeless, strength to the weary, and beauty from the ashes. That's the miracle. Not that the hard things are good, but that God can make them good. Like a master weaver pulling dark and light threads together, He's creating a masterpiece from the mess. Imagine an artist standing before a blank canvas surrounded by colors that seem to clash and swirl in chaos. To the untrained eye, it might look like a disaster in the making, but the artist sees the potential. With every brushstroke, every careful blending of color, the chaos begins to take shape. The dark shades make the light ones shine brighter. The rough textures add depth and character. In the end, what once seemed like a mess becomes a work of art, unique, beautiful, and full of meaning. That's what God does with our lives. He takes the dark threads of pain, the light threads of joy, and He weaves them together into a story that is greater than the sum of its parts. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely imprisoned. His story is one of unimaginable hardship and injustice. He was taken from his home, separated from his family, and forced to live in a foreign land. He faced temptation, false accusations, and years of waiting in a prison cell for a crime he didn't commit. If anyone had reason to give up hope, it was Joseph. And yet, through it all, he held on to his faith. He trusted that God was still at work, even when he couldn't see it. And in the end, God used Joseph's pain to save not only his own family but an entire nation. Yet he later said in Genesis chapter 50 verse 20, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Those words are a testament to the power of redemption. Joseph didn't deny the evil that was done to him. He didn't pretend that his suffering wasn't real, but he recognized that God had taken what was meant for harm and used it to accomplish something far greater than anyone could have imagined. That's the heart of this promise. It's not about denying our pain, but about trusting that God can bring purpose from it. That's what Romans 8:28 means. It's not a promise that life will be easy or that we'll always understand why things happen the way they do. It's a promise that, no matter what we face, we are never alone. God is with us in the struggle, working behind the scenes, weaving together the threads of our story into something beautiful. It's a promise that our pain is not wasted, that our tears are not in vain, and that even the hardest things can become good in His hands. Even what was meant to harm you, God will use to bless you. That's the hope we hold on to, even when the night is long and the way is hard. So if you're walking through a difficult season right now, remember this: your story isn't over. The pain you feel today is not the end of your story. God is still at work, weaving, shaping, and transforming. One day, you'll look back and see how even the hardest things became part of something good, something beautiful, because you trusted the one who makes all things new. If this message is speaking to your heart, would you take a moment to like this video and subscribe? It's a small action, but it helps this word of hope reach someone else who needs it. Let's spread the truth of Romans 8:28 together. But this promise has a direction. It's not for everyone, it's for those who love God. If you've said yes to Jesus, if you've trusted Him with your life, if your heart, even trembling, still reaches for Him in the dark, then this verse is for you. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to love Him. And even when your love feels small, God still sees it, He still honors it, and He still works for your good. This part is key. Sometimes in the quiet moments of our lives when we're left alone with our thoughts and the world seems to pause, we begin to ask the deeper questions. Why am I here? What is the meaning behind the struggles I face? Is there a reason for the pain I endure? These questions are not just fleeting thoughts, they are the echoes of our souls searching for purpose, for hope, for something greater than ourselves. And it's in these moments, when the noise fades and the distractions fall away, that we can begin to sense that our lives are not random, that our pain is not pointless, and that there is a purpose woven through every chapter of our story, even the ones that hurt the most. To those who are the called, according to His purpose. These words are not just a statement, they are a promise, a declaration that you are not alone in your journey. You are not wandering aimlessly through life, left to figure things out on your own. There is a divine calling on your life, a unique purpose that only you can fulfill. You are part of a story that is so much bigger than you can imagine, a story that God Himself is writing. And in this story, every moment matters. Every tear, every trial, every triumph is being used for something greater. You are called, not by accident but by design. You are chosen not because of your perfection but because of your potential. God's purpose for you is not just about what you do, but about who you become in the process. You are not just called to survive. You are not here simply to make it through another day, to endure hardship after hardship with no end in sight. You are called to thrive, to rise above your circumstances, to discover strength you never knew you had. Life will test you. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when the weight of your burden seems too much to bear. But you are not defined by your struggles. You are defined by your resilience, your courage, your willingness to keep moving forward even when the path is steep and the night is long. Survival is not your only option. Victory is possible, hope is real, and your story is far from over. You are called to a purpose. Your life is not an accident. Every gift you have, every passion that stirs your heart, every experience, good or bad, has shaped you for a reason. You are here to make a difference, to touch lives, to bring light into dark places. Your purpose may not always be obvious and it may not look like anyone else's, but it is real, and it matters. Sometimes your purpose is found in the small acts of kindness, the quiet moments of encouragement, the times when you choose to love, even when it's hard. Other times it's found in the big decisions, the leaps of faith, the moments when you step out of your comfort zone and trust that God is leading you. No matter where you are or what you're facing, your life has meaning. You are here for a reason. Your pain has a purpose. It's easy to believe that pain is just something to be avoided, something to escape as quickly as possible. But what if your pain is actually a doorway to something greater? What if the very things that break your heart are the things that shape your character, deepen your compassion, and draw you closer to God? Pain is never wasted in God's hands. He uses it to refine you, to teach you, to prepare you for what's ahead. The tears you cry are not unseen. The struggles you face are not ignored. Every moment of pain is an opportunity for growth, for healing, for transformation. It's in the fire that gold is purified, and it's in your pain that your true strength is revealed. Your journey has a destination. Life is not a random series of events. Every step you take, every detour, every setback is leading you somewhere. Sometimes the road is smooth and the sun is shining. Other times the path is rocky and the way forward is unclear. But no matter what, you are moving toward a destination, a place of purpose, of fulfillment, of destiny. The journey may be long, and there will be moments when you feel lost or alone, but you are never truly alone. God is with you every step of the way, guiding you, strengthening you, and preparing you for what's ahead. Trust the process, embrace the journey, know that every twist and turn is part of a bigger plan, a plan that is for your good and for God's glory. And God's purpose is not your comfort, it's your calling. That delay you're experiencing, it's not a denial, it's preparation. Every moment you spend waiting, every door that seems closed, every opportunity that slips through your fingers is shaping you, molding you, getting you ready for what's next. That rejection you faced, it's not the end of your story, it's redirection. Sometimes God closes one door so He can open another, one that leads to something far better than you could have imagined. The disappointments, the setbacks, the moments when you feel like giving up, they are all part of the process. God is more interested in your growth than your comfort. He is more concerned with your character than your convenience. He is calling you to something greater, something that will require faith, perseverance, and trust. That suffering, it's producing something in you that comfort never could. It's building endurance, patience, empathy, and faith. It's teaching you to rely on God, to trust Him when you can't see the way forward. Suffering is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you discover just how strong you really are. The pain you feel today is the strength you will carry tomorrow. The lessons you learn in the valley will prepare you for the mountaintop. Don't despise your suffering, embrace it as a tool in God's hands, a means by which He is shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. Remember, diamonds are formed under pressure, and your greatest growth often comes from your greatest challenges. The Apostle Paul, who wrote this very verse, faced beatings, imprisonment, and shipwrecks. His life was marked by hardship, by trials that would have broken most people. He was misunderstood, rejected, and often alone. Yet through it all, Paul never lost sight of his purpose. He knew that his suffering was not in vain. He understood that every trial was an opportunity to grow, to trust, to witness to others about the faithfulness of God. Paul's story is a testament to the power of purpose in the midst of pain. He didn't allow his circumstances to define him. Instead, he allowed God to use his pain to shape his destiny. And because of that, his life continues to inspire millions, even centuries later. Paul's journey reminds us that our pain can become our platform, our trials can become our testimony, and our struggles can become the very thing that God uses to change the world. Yet he still declared, all things work together for good. Not just some things, not just the easy things or the happy moments, all things. The heartbreak, the loss, the disappointment, the victories, the joys, they are all being woven together into a tapestry of grace. God is able to take the broken pieces of your life and create something beautiful. He is able to turn your mourning into dancing, your sorrow into joy, your pain into purpose. This is the promise that Paul clung to, and it's the promise that you can hold on to as well. No matter what you're facing, no matter how dark the night may seem, know that God is at work. He is turning your pain into purpose, your trials into triumphs, your story into a testimony of His faithfulness. Why? because he understood that God's purpose will always prevail, even when life doesn't go as planned. When your dreams are shattered, when your plans fall apart, when you find yourself in places you never expected to be, remember, God is still in control. His purpose for your life is greater than any setback, any disappointment, any pain. He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail, weaving every thread, turning every trial into a testimony. So hold on to hope, trust in his purpose. Know that your pain is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of something beautiful. You are called, you are chosen, and your life has a purpose that will outlast every storm. Embrace the journey, trust the process, and know that in the hands of God, your pain will always have a purpose. So maybe today you feel like nothing is working, maybe you're exhausted, heartbroken, confused, but hear this. It's not over, God is not done, He is still working behind the scenes, He is still fighting for you. And when it's all said and done, you'll look back and say, now I see it. Even then, God was good. Romans chapter 8 verse 28 isn't just a verse, it's a lifeline, it's a reassurance. It's a declaration that no matter what comes, God is in control. Let's end in prayer. Father, we don't always understand what you're doing, but we trust that you are good. Thank you for the promise of Romans chapter 8 verse 28. Thank you that nothing in our life is wasted. Help us love you more, trust you deeper, and walk boldly in your purpose. In Jesus' name, amen. If this video reminded you that God is still working, I invite you to share it with someone who's going through a hard time. And if you haven't already, subscribe and join this community of faith. Because no matter what you're facing, you are never alone. God is still writing your story.